Welcome to the Millennial Lawyer Podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Millennial Lawyer Podcast with Mark Shirian. Mark is a New York litigation attorney and founder of Mark David Shirian PC, known for securing seven-figure results in personal injury, employment, and complex civil cases. I'm Kevin Rosenquist, and today we're digging into construction site accidents caused by defective tools and equipment. Who's on the hook when a scaffold gives out or machinery fails? Mark's going to tell us all about it. Mark, welcome back.
Happy to be back.
What makes construction equipment cases different from your standard job site injury claims?
So in New York, we have what's called Labor Law 240. And Labor Law 240 is an amazing law that protects construction workers from gravity-related accidents. So when you're talking about something that falls, anything that's gravity-related, the workers are completely covered, meaning that the defendants have a non-delegable duty to ensure that the work site is safe and free of any of these sort of hazards. Okay. Along with Labor Law 240 in New York, we have what's called Labor Law 241-6, which gives you an opportunity to allege specific violations of the industrial code. So, and then under Labor Law 200, you're able to just sue under general negligence. So again, these laws are very pro-worker, and it's an amazing law that protects workers from gravity-related injuries in New York.
Are these is this the scaffold law that I think we've talked about in the past?
Yes, this is the scaffold law that holds the landowners responsible for these gravity-related accidents that occur on construction sites.
Okay. Who can be held liable when a defective tool or machinery causes an accident?
Well, you can hold the property owners responsible. You can hold the general contractors responsible. Again, the Labor Law 240, aka the Scaffold Law, establishes strict non-delegable liability, meaning that these parties are responsible even if they weren't even directly negligent, or if a subcontractor was involved. And one thing that I need to really just explain to you is that liability is strict. So if the conditions of the law are violated and cause an injury, the owner and the contractors are 100% liable, regardless of any sort of comparative negligence by the injured worker. So property owners, so the owner of the property where the accident occurred can be held liable, as well as general contractors. So the general contractor overseeing the construction or renovation project is also responsible.
What happens if the worker was perhaps not using the machinery properly, or if they weren't following protocol or proper training, or those kind of things? How does that fit into their claim?
Well, again, like I said, when you're talking about Labor Law 240, there's no comparative negligence. So an injured worker's own negligence is not a defense against the Labor Law 240 claim, meaning they can still recover damages even if they were partially at fault. But with respect to the other claims that I discussed, like Labor Law 200, there is comparative negligence with respect to that. So if they were using the tool improperly, that would come into play. But that usually is a defense in these sort of cases, that they're saying that they were provided safeguards, but it just was not used properly by the employee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would assume that's a big tactic or a big angle for insurance companies for sure. So Can a manufacturer or a distributor even be sued if the equipment was perhaps old or had been previously repaired and not well? I mean, how do those kind of things factor in?
Oh, well, when you're talking about a manufacturer, you're talking about a product liability claim. So, yes, within that sense, if there is an actual defect, manufacturing defect, or style or design defect, or if the equipment is just dangerous and didn't come with the right warnings, yes, you could bring in the manufacturer under a product liability claim as well, for sure.
You can do both.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Does that's wow, that can be a robust case. Like what kind of evidence are you looking for in those kind of things?
You want to make sure that the product, whether or not the product came with the right warnings, and whether those warnings were also communicated to the worker, and whether there was any sort of recalls that the construction site should have been aware of. And maybe they weren't, maybe they were, and they still continue to use those products. So those are just some ways that could come into play when you're dealing with a product liability case on a construction site.
What type of injuries, what type of problems do you see the most often on construction sites?
That I see ladder accidents a lot, where ladders are not being secured properly. Um, Materials like sheetrock are just being thrown without being safeguarded. You have a lot of injuries that are caused by inattentiveness. Now with phones and everything, people are distracted, and you
True.
see a lot of accidents on the construction site uh, caused by that. Also, and we've seen it all the time, profits over people. Safety is not a priority oftentimes when you're dealing with a construction site, and profits uh, are taken more into consideration than actual safety of the construction site, and a lack of training when it comes to these construction sites. So those are just some of the issues that I've seen when dealing with construction site accidents.
Do you get many that can be traced back to defective equipment?
I have not. I have not. But have I seen it in other cases with other attorneys? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When OSHA, when OSHA reports are involved, expert inspections, what kind of things do these? How do these play in building cases?
Absolutely. So OSHA stands for the Occupational Safety and Health Act. So again, the purpose of OSHA is to ensure that safe and healthful working conditions for working men and women are enforced, and they provide training, outreach, education, and assistance. So again, workers have the right to work on safe machines, receive safety and health training, and speak up about hazards without fear of retaliation. So as far as OSHA goes, employers are required to provide safe workplace free of recognized hazards and must comply with OSHA standards. So OSHA sets and enforces standards and can issue penalties for violations. So when it comes to a construction site accident, um, if OSHA comes and does an investigation and finds that there were violations, that could be very beneficial and critical for your type of case. So that's where OSHA comes into play with these sort of claims. And from what I understand, if there is an accident on a construction site, I'm pretty sure OSHA is required. It's required to be reported to OSHA, and it's up to OSHA to conduct an investigation.
Do they do inspections if they're not triggered to do so by like an injury or something like that?
They're required to do so. I'm pretty sure. Whether they actually do it or not, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to discuss that. I don't work for OSHA. I never did, but I'm pretty sure that they do.
that they're supposed to be doing it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So someone's injured on the job in a construction site or one of these, whether it's a defective tool or not. what is the first thing they need to do to help their claim going forward?
Again, hire an attorney immediately. Take as many photographs if you're able to. Witness statements are huge, and these are usually colleagues of yours. So hiring an attorney to make sure that you're getting as many witness statements as possible. And then what your attorney should be doing is to frame the case. We call that framing. To schedule some sort of site visit with a construction expert so you can determine what the theory is of what caused this accident. So without doing that, it's very hard to build a case when you're dealing with a construction accident case.
Is it hard to get people to cooperate, witnesses and stuff? Because everybody a lot of times in these situations, people are worried about losing their jobs or worried about not getting hired again as a contractor or whatnot. Do you find that it's hard to get witness statements?
It can be, but also people, one thing I've seen with construction workers, there is a brotherhood, sisterhood type of thing. And if they are able to help, they will. But I have seen this on other cases that also could backfire, and they need the job and they don't want to lose the job. So if they do see something, they may not necessarily say something. So you see it both ways. For sure.
Yeah. I would imagine. All right. Well, if you've been injured on a job site, especially due to unsafe or defective equipment, reach out to ShirianPC.com and let Mark and his team go to work for you. Subscribe to the Millennial Lawyer Podcast for more behind the scenes legal insight, and make sure to like and leave us a review if you found this episode helpful. Mark, always appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.